The River Tyne is estimated to be around 30 million years old and is 73 miles long, passing through Newcastle and entering the North Sea at Tynemouth. In this episode we show you a bit more of our award-winning marina before heading down to the historic fish dock at North Shields. And the first mate makes a spontaneous decision which lands us 300 miles across the North Sea, exploring one of Europe's most cultural cities.
In a previous video, James did a tour of the Royal Quays Marina, but what he forgot to do was take you through to the facilities. Now, they are the nicest facilities I've ever seen, so I'm going to take you on a little tour. You enter into a large seating area with lots of sailing magazines to read, an old map of the Tyne on the wall, and a big TV screen currently showing the windy forecast. Each bathroom is finished to such a high standard, with luxury toiletries, and the showers are absolutely amazing. They all have different colour schemes, which makes them look and feel like you're in a posh hotel. And behind this door is what's really impressive. Full-size family bathroom with an actual bath. Now that is proper luxury. It's the only marina I've seen so far that you get a lovely bath. As you can tell by the blue sky and the fact that we're wearing t-shirts and sunglasses, we're not actually in England at the moment. We're on a bit of a boat break, so we've gone away for a few weeks. In the last few videos you probably picked up that James has really been feeling the cold. It's been freezing, every other word has been I'm freezing.
I know we're hard up north, but it's really been something else over the last few weeks.
So yeah, so we thought we'd treat ourselves to some cheap flights. We've got a cheap Airbnb, and yeah, we're really making the most of having some nice weather.
So when we do get back to the UK, we're going to be hauling Takazar out. So we've left her in Royal Quays Marina. She's probably fuming that she's in a frozen marina. But yeah, we're going to haul out. We've got a few jobs that we're going to do underneath, and we'll say more about it at the end of the video, so stay tuned. And we probably need a bit of advice as well, so
yeah,
we'll be
asking for some help, because there's a lot of things we want to get done that we've never done before. So
this is the first time we've ever hauled out properly. We've normally just gone on a dry dock, which you only get 6 hours, so you don't really have much time.
Yeah, it's
to
such
do
a rush to do like the basic bits you have to do, so it'd be nice to be able to be out for the week and actually take the time to do some of the stuff that we've never had time to do before. So
first of all, we're going back to North Shields.
Well, you are. We're going to stay in the sunshine if it's all the same to you.
And we're going to show you around the historic fish dock and the lighthouses of the Tyne.
Dating back to the 13th century, the fish dock started as a bunch of huts called shielings, built on the north bank of the Tyne. This was the origins of North Shields. The settlement grew in size, but the development was hindered by the larger port of Newcastle. Conflict arose, which prevented the loading and discharging of cargo. The Fish Quay is still a working dock to this day and is one of the largest prawn ports in England. There is a processing plant and wet fish shops selling local fish, mussels and kippers that are smoked in the smokehouse in sea houses. Next to the fish dock is the Shields passenger ferry service, which operates from North to South Shields. Ferries have been in use across the Tyne since the 1300s, and in 1929 there were 11 ferries crossing the Tyne. Following the opening of the Tyne Tunnel in 1967, there was a significant drop in demand, and this is the only surviving service. Next to the ferry terminal is the Old Smith's Dock, which opened in 1851 and built and repaired ships, including many that served in the Second World War. The shipyard had thousands of workers who were well known to rush over the road to the Woolsington House pub for a few pints at lunchtime. The shipyard closed in 1987 and the pub has stood empty, frozen in time for over 20 years.
The mouth of the Tyne has 4 historic lighthouses which were used by vessels entering the Tyne from the North Sea. The earliest pair are the old high and low lights, which vessels would line up to form their approach and to avoid the dangerous Shields Bar and Black Midden rocks. Due to the shifting sandbanks, these became no longer effective and were decommissioned to make way for the new high and low lights. This is the oldest low light, built in 1727, which would have been lit with tallow candles and would have been lined up with a high light further up the bank. It was decommissioned in 1810 as no longer aligned with the high light due to shifting sandbanks. This was the new high light which replaced it and was originally powered by gaslight. It was also deactivated in 1999 but still serves as the day shape for vessels entering the Tyne. So we've been doing quite a lot of exploring lately, and one day Gav got up and took things to a new level.
Well, you've got to be spontaneous, what can I say?
We ended up 300 miles across the North Sea. So it's a freezing day in Royal Keys today, and we've decided to do something a little bit different. The marina is right next to the ferry terminal, which goes to Amsterdam. So we just thought, well, we might as well. We've never been able to go away before in December with working in retail. So we just thought we'll make the most of it. So we're heading now to the ferry. So we'll be on the ferry overnight. We've got dinner. We'll have a few drinks tonight. And then about 9 o'clock in the morning we arrive in Amsterdam. So we'll get off and we spend the whole day there. So we'll have a walk around. And then on the evening we get back on the ferry and come back. So it's literally just a couple of days. It's Sunday today and we'll be back on Tuesday, but really looking forward to it. Something a bit different, and we're wrapped up warm because it's going to be freezing out there. So we're here, we're on board now. I was actually going to take a clip of the actual ferry on the way in, but we were just like...
Rushed on board,
yeah.
Checked in you get.
So, but this is our cabin. We've just arrived, I'll show you around. It's tiny, but it's really cute. Bed. And this funny looking radio, I think it is there.
And I can't believe how big it is though, the ship.
The ship is huge.
I've never actually been on one before.
And then through here we've got a wet room. It's actually really nice, quite impressed with it really.
And we've got our sick bag in case we get seasick.
Let's just hope we're not sick. If we're sick it's because we'll have had too many beers. So we've got off the ferry, hopped on a bus, and now we've arrived in Amsterdam. So we're going to have a bit of an explore around now and go for coffee. Well, we're at a cake shop. I'm looking for a Bakewell tart. I'm not quite sure if I can find one. They do all sorts here. Magic brownies.
So, after a fantastic day out.
Such a nice city, there's waterways everywhere and the buildings are really cultural.
Cultural. So common.
So
This is Princess Jane, who lost his boarding pass
Yeah, I
and
had
had
to
to
get-
make a scene when we got back on the boat.
yeah, I had to go to the reception. We're heading for a snooze now before we go out tonight on the boat. There's a nightclub.
Such a beautiful view.
We're just arriving back in Newcastle. It's freezing. It's a lovely morning though. Looks like there's some snow as well. The exact same route we sailed down a week ago now, but
Dit is een mededeling voor alle passagiers met een voertuig geparkeerd op dek 3. Alle passagiers met een voertuig op dek 3 wordt vriendelijk verzocht zich nu naar het autodek te begeven.
just passing
We
Takazar
hebben
now.
omroepen voor passagiers
Oh yeah, I can see
met
the
een voertuig
swans.
geparkeerd op dek 4. Als mede voor
Everybody that watches our videos regularly will know that we've both got a right soft spot for animals. So here's a bit of bonus footage of some of the friends we've made in Fuerteventura. They're so cute, it's unreal.
So as we mentioned earlier on in the episode, when we get back to the UK we're going to be hauling out, and we've got loads of jobs to do to Takazar. The main ones is the anti-foul underneath and replacing the anode on the sail drive, and we want to give the hull a really good polish and maybe get some new graphics for it too. Now if there's anyone around the Newcastle or Royal Keys area and you've got a prop puller or a machine polisher that you wouldn't mind lending us, or if you've got any tips to how to get the prop off, we'll be really grateful. We did try last year in Scarborough and we just couldn't get it to budge, but we were on a dry dock, and as we said earlier on, we only had 6 hours and we had to do all the anti-foul and that, so we didn't really have time to problem solve it, but it's coming off this time, we're doing it.
Over the last few weeks we've been getting quite a lot of questions. We were hoping to cover it all off in a live session, but neither of us feel brave enough to do that yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a Q&A session in the next video. If anyone's got any questions they want to ask us about boat life, passage planning,
How we got into it, what's next for us.
just anything really, anything at all, send us a message and we will answer it as honestly as we can. That's it for this week's episode. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really does help us out.
And don't forget to get them questions in.
Catch you next time.